Hi, I'm Brad Sugars and welcome to the Business Basics. Part of the 5 ways, or the business chassis that I teach, and if you haven't watched that video, I suggest you go back and watch it now, is how to improve your conversion rate. Now, we talk about conversion rate here second of all because, well, margins is the fastest way to improve the profitability. Conversion is the second fastest, most cost-effective way. So we're going to look at that in a little bit of detail. Now, the fastest way I've found to increase conversion rate in any company is by training the salespeople, training the people that answer the phone, training the people that go out and make the calls and make the sales pitches. You know, every doctor gets new training, every accountant, every lawyer, they continue training day in, day out. Well, sales is a profession as well, so let's make sure our salespeople are continually trained. NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, understanding the communication modalities of your prospects and your customers. In fact, even understanding your own communication modalities is very important. If you don't, please watch one of my videos on that one, but make sure you get training in this for all of your salespeople. Next, you've got to look at DISC, the DISC profiling system, dominant, influencer, stability, and compliant oriented. They each buy differently. They each have different buying signals. They each have different buying patterns, different buying motives. You know, if you've got to learn all of these things, it's really important for you and your sales team to be aware of each and every one of the buying styles, each of the buying modalities, to be aware of your own buying style and your own buying modality so that you can adapt to that customer. All of this training, plus sales training in general, is vital for your sales team if you want to boost conversion. Not just increase it a little bit, but really boost it. Second area I want to look at is scripting. You know, most salespeople, if I go into any company and I look at 10 salespeople, their conversion rates and their scripts are entirely different. I'll see one person who has a conversion rate of 80% and another with 20%. And you'll wonder why, and then you listen to their script or what they say, and you'll find out there's a very big difference in how they communicate with their prospect, how they show the product, how they get the customer to experience what it is they're getting them to try and buy. So what our goal is to work out a scripting process that allows everybody, and scripts are full of questions, they're not full of statements, they're full of questions, to work out a scripting process whereby we get everybody following a similar format so we've got a far better standard conversion rate. We don't have such variances and such lows and highs. Next one. We've got to look at several different areas. A guarantee. Look, by law, we've got to guarantee the product or service we sell anyway. A unique selling proposition, or USP. What is your differentiation of your product or service? If you don't have a differentiation from a marketing perspective, you're competing on price. And competing on price, well, we all know that's a recipe for disaster. Then you've also got to have not only the story of your company, but the benefits list. If you don't have the 11 reasons why XYZ should be your first choice in whatever it is you sell, you know, if you're looking at this, if you can't write down 11 reasons I should buy from you, then how does the customer know the 11 reasons? You've got to tell the company story. See, people like buying from people they like. They like buying from companies they like. You've got to make sure the company story is published, printed on your website, wherever it needs to be, to make sure the prospect will understand who they're buying from, and then they can go into the benefits list, why they're buying from you, the differentiation, why you're better than your competitors, and then ultimately you can deal with the guarantee so it removes all risk. Risk removal is a very important strategy, especially when it's something you have to do anyway. You may as well write it down and use it to your most benefit advantage. You know, getting to make sure conversion rate is improved is very important. I've said this time and time again, testing and measuring your conversion rate, actually knowing the numbers, is one of the fastest ways to boost your conversion rate. I'm not just talking about saying, all right, let's measure our conversion rate a little bit. What you've got to do is actually measure it across the board. You want to measure the conversion rate of each salesperson. You want to measure the conversion rate from each marketing campaign. See, if you've got someone calling from Yellow Pages, they're going to have a different conversion from someone who's calling from a newspaper ad, then a different conversion again from someone who's a referral to your business. So you've got to measure all of those things. Not only that, you've got to measure repeat customer conversion rate. If a repeat customer calls you and asks to buy and then doesn't, you've got to really worry about what's going on with your sales force right there and then. You know, so we've got to manage and measure all of the aspects of your conversion rate, very important aspects. Another one I use most often. See, these are the strategies we use most often when we're coaching business owners. We use offers or gift checks of type. See, the more you make an offer for someone to buy, the more chance they'll actually make a purchase. You know, one of the things I see with companies is that they get people in and they don't actually give them an offer, a reason to buy now. You know, when someone calls your business and you send them out a brochure, shouldn't there be an offer that goes with it that has a time limit to it, that if they buy within the next 7 days, they get XYZ value-added deal? You know, these are some of the things that we've got to look at. What is the offer you're making? How can you put a gift check in with purchase? I remember years ago working with a menswear company, and it was a retail store, and we'd put a gift check in an envelope that says, please don't open this until you get home. And if someone walked out without us being able to get a sale, we would give them the gift check. And of course, they'd come back that afternoon and they'd pay because we'd given them a gift check to get them started in their first purchase with us. Do you think it's worth that to buy a lifetime customer, to get them to make that first purchase, the initial purchase with us? You know, these are some of the things we've got to look at for conversion rate. Not only are we converting them to become a customer, but we're converting a lifetime customer. Very, very valuable. Next, I want to talk about flow charting your sales process. Now, what do I mean by that? You see, in any position, in any company, in any sales scenario, there is going to be a process by which people buy things. For example, see, you didn't wake up today thinking, gee, I need a business coach. But when you went to buy business coaching or you went to get help to grow your business, you sit down and you go through a process of actually buying. You get to know the person, you get to know Action Coach, you get to find out about the system. People go through stages in buying. And what are your stages? I remember when I had a retail business, the first stage was to get them actually to walk in the store. How do I get them from passing by through the shopping mall to actually walk into the store? Very important stage. How do I get them? And it was retail clothing, so we had to get them to try on clothes. You know, each stage or each step of the sales process needs to be documented, and then you can even measure your conversion rate from one step to the next, and that becomes extremely powerful. It's using the old leverage formula of divide to multiply, divide it up so that you can work through step by step each stage of the flowchart to know where it is that you're doing well and where it is that you're not doing well. Next one, and now this one's mostly for retail, point of sale or merchandising. You know, you've got to get far better point of sale, far better merchandising. Even in an office scenario, what's your point of sale? What is it that you're selling to people when they come and sit in your office? An action plan. I want you to take a look at this one in detail. In fact, go to one of my websites, bradsfreeebooks.com. There's 3 E's in the middle there, bradsfreeebooks.com, and download one on there. It's about how to write an action plan. You might call this a quote, a tender, a proposal. I call it an action plan. I want you to learn how to use it and how to write it far better than what you're doing today. You know, we need to boost the conversion rates with that. Finally, last one. You learnt this one as a kid, follow-up. See, when you're a kid and you wanted an ice cream, you said, Dad, can I have an ice cream? 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 That's called follow-up. Most salespeople are no good at it. They get a no and then they run and hide. You've got to follow up. Every prospect that's ever said no, you've got to keep in touch with. Monthly, quarterly, you know, when are you calling them back saying, hey, have you rethought about it? Hey, are you up to date? Hey, you know, give yourself a reason to call these people and follow up and make sure you do it consistently. These strategies will help you boost your conversion rate. It's one of the most cost-effective ways of getting far more business for your business. I'm Brad Sugars, and these are the Business Basics.